How's it going, peeps? Welcome back to Viva La Coin. I am Joe. I will be your host. And yes, I do have a very squeaky chair, if you can hear it. Maybe one day I'll be able to afford a better one after I pull my money out of crypto. But for now, if you hear any squeaks, I promise it's not my butt cheeks, it is my chair. But thank you for joining us on today's episode as we explore the altcoins that I particularly am invested in and that I like on the Voyager exchange. Now, if you could, or if you find this valuable, hit like on the video, share it to those in your life that are getting into crypto. And ultimately, I am trying to get to 100 subscribers before I repeat a single Hawaiian shirt. And we are on our way and we're getting pretty close, but I do need your help. So if you're not subscribed and you're just watching the videos because you like spending time with me, if you could, please go ahead and subscribe because we get a lot of exciting stuff coming up down the road. Now, as we jump into this, of course, these are my particular picks. There are some on Voyager that I like if you don't use Binance US, like VeChain, Polkadot, which is available on Kraken, but they're available on Voyager as well as Engine and Elrond that we discussed in our last video as well. Now, I'm not going to cover their specific information. Make sure to watch our previous video so that you know exactly what they're all about and some of the background information. Now, as we dive into this, just as our previous video, I'm not going to show you any bullshit or tell you about absorbent and price predictions because at the end of the day, I don't know that. I would be lying. I am not a financial advisor, nor am I a fucking oracle of the future. This is simply to educate you on what these blockchains and cryptocurrencies do. And if you have any further questions, please leave them down in the comments and I would be happy to engage and talk back and forth about any of these cryptocurrencies or any that maybe I don't cover that are on Voyager that you find particularly attractive. Now, as we take a look at this Bitcoin, again, I'm filming a couple videos throughout my Sunday here as we go. So still sitting about where we were the last video. If it has changed at all as I upload these, then sorry about the current price, but still, I don't expect a ton of stuff right now. We're just kind of idling out at the moment before what I believe is going to be a dump before next Friday. So keep an eye on that. Make sure, dollar cost average in if you're new. That is just where you set an amount of whatever you're going to invest in. And you only put a section of that in, maybe a little bit each week, a little bit each month. You make your decision, but do what's right for you. Don't FOMO into these projects. Don't panic buy. Don't panic sell. And let's just jump into it. So on the Voyager app, I've become a bigger and bigger fan of their setup. I think that when it comes to applications that I use for exchanges, I like theirs the most. Better than Coinbase, better than Binance, better than Kraken. Voyager takes the cake because they give you specific data about your buys, how much you are in profit, different percentages in real life breakdowns as they develop, as opposed to Coinbase or Binance US that are just more stagnant. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't like those other exchanges for their different particular accessibility, but I really wish that they were structured like Voyager, and I am a big fan of the Voyager app. Now, if you could, if you don't have Voyager, I'm going to put my link down below for you to be able to use that referral code to get your Voyager account set up. If you do, we both get $25 worth of free Bitcoin if you spend $100 on cryptocurrency. I've had people use that referral link. It does work. So just a couple things to keep in mind as we jump in and get started. So the first project I'm going to go into is Terra, or sometimes referred to as Terra Luna in their full name with their ticker LUNA. Now, Terra Luna is quickly pushing. If we look at the top 10 in the real big caps, they have been climbing. They're right now at number 15, and they're pushing towards replacing Stellar at number 14. They have been skyrocketing. And a lot of people don't really understand what the project is or why it's so monumental what they're doing. And you don't really see a lot of cool-off period. Now, at any point, they could have had a correction, and I still believe that they will have a correction, so don't run into just massive, massive green candles without dollar cost averaging. But I think that part of why they are rising so quickly and continuing that rise before the correction is the use case that they provide in their cryptocurrency is not only unlike almost any other crypto, but it is going to be absolutely massive. Now, let's talk a little bit what they do, and then I'll show you their site. So what is Terra Luna? Terra is a blockchain protocol that uses fiat-pegged stablecoins, which, if you remember, stablecoins are cryptocurrency coins that equal $1. So they're pegged to the US dollar, and then that way they don't necessarily fluctuate with the volatility of cryptocurrency like the typical chains or assets do if you hold them. So Terra is a blockchain protocol that uses fiat-pegged stablecoins to power price-stable global payment systems. According to its white paper, which is just how they work and what their original consensus was, Terra combines the price stability and wide adoption of fiat currencies with the censorship resistance of Bitcoin and offers fast, affordable settlements. So they're taking the idea of fiat currency that people that aren't heavily into crypto or don't quite understand it, and they're applying it to crypto through stable coins. And it's something that we know many governments have tried to create like their own digital currency, and we'll just put this out because people want it to be digital. No, that's not why we fucking want cryptocurrency. We want it for its immutability, its lack of corruption. You can't censor it and anyone can participate. Well, now these stable coins that will be available to people and can be used in different purchases, they'll be pegged through Luna. So that's what this project does. And they have a decent amount of circulating supply at 406 million at the moment. Now their total supply, once everything's circulating, will be about 900 million. Now there is no max supply, so as they scale, they could generate more, but ultimately I think that the price is reflecting the use case here. I don't think that they're overpriced, which is very shocking to even myself, because if anything ran up this quickly and had a market cap of close to $10 billion, which very few cryptos have achieved, I would start to say, well, that's definitely due for like this major correction. I think they're overbought, like a lot of those NFT plays were. But I don't believe that's the case for Terra Luna. Not financial advice, because I don't have those credentials to lead you down a path to ruin, but that's just my thought. Now, their website, just to give you a better idea, so programmable for the internet. It is trying to bridge the idea of how people spend money with how people want to incorporate crypto. So let's take a look at some of their information. So the most attractive hold is fiat currency to the majority of the population. So their idea is if we can take these stable coins and provide them as opposed to fiat currency, then people will not only be able to take advantage of using them to purchase different things, but they're using a new crypto that just came out that's available on none of the major exchanges that I cover, but on ALTCOIN is the biggest one. They're on Anchor protocol. They're able to stake or put these stable coins into this Anchor protocol and actually get those high APY returns on these stable coins. Now, if you go back to the video where I talked about our current banking in the US and the very piss poor return on investment that you have just having cash in a savings account, and you're getting 0.24% back, not 2.4%, 0.24%. Well, now this is making it more available for people to have access to stable coins so that they can then put them into a higher yield account through that Anchor protocol. So that's big in and of itself. Now, and it's the easiest to spend. So Terra stable coins offer instant settlements, low fees, and seamless cross-border exchange, loved by millions of users and merchants. So they already have 2 million plus active payment users. And it's going to be a running narrative in a lot of these videos when I try and educate about why cryptos succeed and others just completely falter and collapse or fraudulent. It's due to adoption, use cases, partnerships, and unique utility. And just like I'm really big on VeChain, I'm really big on Terra Luna because they have millions of people already using the system in multiple different countries. And they have the Chai app, which I believe is in South Korea. It was either South Korea, Singapore, or Thailand. I can't remember which major country. I believe it was either Singapore or South Korea, though. But that has a ton of users already using it. They have their own app that they have, and they have already done over $1 billion worth of transaction volume. So it's a very widely adopted crypto right out of the gate. And I think that's just because it is such a non-threatening, easy to understand concept for people unfamiliar with crypto to start to throw their hat in the ring there. Now, forming the most limitless venue to trade. So they're using another protocol as well to create synthetics assets. And this has to do more with trading in general, but that has to do a lot with the larger institutional investors or people that would use this to back certain assets. So that's exciting. And ultimately, they are allowing people to then build on different parts of their blockchain and continue to add on their own stable coins and to expand this ecosystem. And they want to make this accessible on the leading blockchains. So if you look at the Binance system and their BNB token, they have their own stable coin, which is the BUSD, or the Binance US dollar. And that stablecoin allows the Binance ecosystem to operate much more smoothly. It's pegged to the Binance chain at $1. And when people trade around on that system, they can't use like USDC stablecoin on the Binance system. You won't find that or be able to trade it if you're on Binance US, because that stablecoin is an ERC20 token. It's built on the Ethereum network. So Binance has their own stablecoin. Well, now what Terra Luna is trying to do is they're trying to make stablecoins accessible on all leading blockchains. Terra aims to make stables available to every developer on every blockchain. So they're already live on Ethereum and Solana, which I covered in my Binance US video briefly, and there's more to come soon. So this project is one I'm very big on. I will say, please be cautious when it comes to investing in them right out of the gate, because they are incredibly up right now over the last couple weeks. I wouldn't doubt that they're going to have a pretty big correction, and it may come when Bitcoin has its dump towards the end of this coming week. However, I can't say for sure. I don't know. They may continue to rise just with how big their use case is. And to be honest, I think this, along with VeChain, are going to make a great case to become top 10 cryptocurrencies over the coming few months. Now, the next one I'm going to cover is Avalanche. So Avalanche is one of the last of that second tier networks that are fighting for market space under Ethereum, Polkadot, and Cardano. So you have Solana and Elrond that I already covered. Cosmos, I'm going to make my own video on. And then Avalanche. So Avalanche is right now about $33 and change. They were just up to $39. Yesterday they had a little bit of a pump, but they went all the way up to about $60 back in early February. And I'll explain why they had that little bit of a dump and what's going on there and why I'm still big on them. But just to go into some base info. So Avalanche is an umbrella platform for launching decentralized finance applications, financial assets, trading, and other services. It aims to be something of a global assets exchange, allowing anyone to launch or trade any form of asset and control it in a decentralized manner using smart contracts or other cutting-edge technologies. So the people at Ava Labs, which is the company behind it, claim that Avalanche is the first smart contracts network to offer transaction finalization in under 1 second as its standard. So one of the big things that Avalanche touts is the speed of their network in settling those transactions. Now, they are one of the younger big cryptocurrencies. I mean, their market cap at 4.2 billion is still justified in my opinion at the moment, but they just went live on their mainnet September 2020. And the native token, the one that's $33, performs various tasks on the system, just like the Ethereum token incentivizes the network to put those things through. Now, you would ask yourself, okay, so their website looks really good, and you're talking about they're building the Internet of Finance and tying everything together. They want to be interoperable between all these different blockchains and not just partner up with one or not be able to connect to another, but they want to connect to as many as absolutely possible on their trading platform. But they actually had a little bit of a bug, which if you check the date, February 14th, this came out. When did they have a price dump? February 10th. So they had an issue with some of their code, and it crippled their blockchain. So they had very, very high volume because they were flying up in price. It skyrocketed to $60, and everyone's trying to use this network. And there was an issue in the blockchain, and it gummed everything up. So that's why they dumped. And they're slowly in the process of recovering from that. And you may say, well, they had a bug. That's not a project I want to invest in. Well, good luck, because Ethereum not only was hacked back in the day and actually had to break their entire chain off into Ethereum, the second version. That's why there's an Ethereum Classic. This happens sometimes when you're creating something for the first time, a new project that's relatively young. They faced an obstacle and they had to correct it. Now, how they recover from this and how quickly they can prove their ability to handle that level of transactions without having another issue is going to be the real tail of the tape as to whether or not they're going to continue to prosper. I hold a fair amount of them. Right alongside Elrond, I believe in both of those projects. Long term, the only one I hold more of in like my secondary bags is Cosmos, and I have specific reasons for that. But I think that they are going to solve this, and it was just a high-profile misstep and a valuable lesson for the blockchain industry. So just some background info on them, but if you are on Voyager, it's one to keep an eye on. The next one I'm going to talk about is Ocean. So Ocean Protocol deals with data, and in an internet-based world where everything is collected constantly, everything we do on social media, every transaction we do, everything we buy, every content we watch, it's all tracked and collected. And that data is incredibly, incredibly valuable. And that's why services like Facebook are free, even though they have billions of users and all this stuff. It's because of advertising data and collecting what people are interested in so that they can better target their customer bases or sell things or sell just the data in general to the people that want to target you for specific items. So Ocean Protocol is not one of those ones that goes hardcore parabolic, although I do believe that we're about to do a little bit of a leg up towards $2. But they have had just some pretty stable and slow growth on crypto Twitter. If you start digging in, Ocean Protocol is one of those ones that has a massive support base. A lot of people believe in the project long term. But let's talk a little bit about what they do. So Ocean Protocol is a blockchain-based ecosystem that allows individuals and businesses to easily unlock the value of their data and monetize it through the use of the ERC20-based data tokens. So these data tokens are built on top of Ethereum. And of course, anything right now that is tied to Ethereum has had an issue trying to climb out of Ethereum's fee issues and congestion issues. So I think as Ethereum starts to solve some of their layer 2 solution issues to start to speed things up towards the end of March, Ocean Protocol should benefit from that nicely. But through Ocean Protocol, publishers can monetize their data while preserving privacy and control, whereas consumers now access data sets that were previously unavailable or difficult to find. These data sets can be discovered on the Ocean market, where they can be purchased and later consumed or sold. So not only is this data available to sell to large corporations, but you as a consumer or you as a small business can now go and purchase data that Ocean collects through its blockchain data collection and use that for the benefit or targeting of your company to assist you moving forward. And their website's pretty nice as well. I dug through it. They just have a bunch of information talking about their Ocean Market app and how to actually purchase that data. And they talk a lot about data marketplaces with the blockchain superpowers and how that will all go in. Now, one of the big things that I want to point out, so it's important that you can buy and sell private data while preserving privacy. So compute to data, which is one of their protocols, resolves the trade-off between the benefit of using private data and the risk of exposing it. It lets data stay on premise, yet allows third parties to run specific compute jobs on it to get useful compute results like averaging or AI or building AI models. So any type of AI scientist or people that work in like computer learning, this could be really big for them and they can access this data without having to compromise any of it. And they mention that right here, is a data scientist or AI practitioner, you can benefit from access to more data, including private data, crypto secured provenance in data and AI training, and income opportunities for selling data and curating data. So in a world that is going to be continuously further consumed by data and interconnectivity, having a blockchain protocol that collects it and can sell it to anyone that is willing to pay or can participate in this network is a massive advantage. And I think that they are in a good spot to take a nice chunk of that market cap. And then the final one is one that I'm relatively new to. So the other three I've been holding for a bit, but StormX is something that I just jumped into about a week ago. And thank God I did, because I bought them at right around 1.5 cents and they jumped to about 8. And I, following enough people that know what they're doing, I figured they were going to pump, and I put a pretty heavy amount in. And then I pulled a lot of those profits out, but I'm still in there. But for StormX, they have another niche, sort of unique area that they're going after. What you're going to find is a lot of the ones I'm talking about here do different things than, I felt like Binance US, we were just talking about. They are a network that deals with dApps. They are a network that deals with dApps. Well, StormX is pretty cool. So what they do is StormX is a gamified marketplace that enables users to earn StormX ERC tokens by completing micro tasks or shopping at global partner stores online. Users can earn staking rewards, shopping, and micro task benefits for holding StormX in their own wallets. So when it comes to actually purchasing things in store, in the mass adoption of crypto and how we spend it, StormX wants to incorporate that in a way that we actually earn cash back or StormX back in how we utilize that for our purchases. And they've been featured by a lot of big names: Wall Street Journal, Forbes, Yahoo Finance, even though I think Yahoo's trash, Cointelegraph, and so on. Now, shop and get paid. Yes, you read that correctly. It is really that simple. Just shop as you would normally in any of our 750 plus available shops and receive up to 87.5% crypto cash back. Now, that sounds completely absurd, but then again, you have a lot of money flowing into crypto and a lot of adoption coming through this. So I'm part of multiple different staking projects or yield farming projects where I'm getting, dozens of percent back in APY or yield farming. So that number might seem outlandish, and I'm guessing that that's probably the very, very upper echelon of what most people get back, but it is possible. But how? Simply put, we combine the powers of blockchain with traditional cashback to create something magical. Better yet, it's so easy, anyone can use it. Don't believe us, just try. And they show you how to download it, and it's available on the Apple and Android marketplaces as well as the Chrome web store. But they have over 750 stores globally where they can operate with this, and you can shop using this app, including a lot of big US-based companies. You saw Nike, Microsoft, Uber, Lego. If you want to build a bunch of Lego shit, why not? DoorDash. And our research is global, and we have no plans on slowing down. We add new stores every day to ensure when you shop, you have an option for crypto cashback. They have a bunch of big partners as well in this. I'm a big fan of Trust Wallet. I don't like Litecoin, but sure, if they want to actually do something, then that's fine. They could be a part of it. Maker Protocol is a big one. Kyber Network's big. So it's nice to see that they have a lot of different things in motion, a lot of different burners on the stove, all firing at once. And although I did get a nice pump and I sold a fair amount of it, I'm going to continue to hold some because I think that if they can continue to scale this correctly, then this has a big use case moving forward. Now, they're going to have a ton of competition, and you're going to have people just paying things with other cryptos. But trying to get in there as early as possible is a big feature that they've just got there before a lot of other people. And all the stores that accept it are very enticing as well. With any of these cryptos that I've covered, please do your own research. Don't just FOMO into these because I'm talking about them, and don't just assume they only go up, and don't assume that they're going to go up at all. Never assume anything. Do your own research and keep an eye on it and make educated decisions based on that. The last one I'm going to cover is the native token to the Voyager application, and that is the Voyager token. Now, before I could even get on Voyager, because there was a wait list for me to set up my profile, I bought a couple thousand Voyager tokens when they were much, much cheaper. And I assumed that looking at what occurred with BNB or the Binance coin in their smart chain and how that shot up exponentially, and as well as Coinbase IPOing and being estimated to be worth about $80 billion. And these utility tokens of these exchanges oftentimes having certain functions, I expect them to continue to go up in price. There's a set hard max supply of 222 million. And just to talk a little bit about it, the Voyager token is a cryptocurrency broker that provides investors with a trusted and secured access point to crypto asset trading. Voyager is built to serve both retail and institutional investors with a nigh instant solution for trading crypto assets. So this token, although it doesn't really have a ton of utility, right now it's not like the Binance coin where you can swap it onto Binance Smart Chain, do all this shit with it. You do earn interest on it, 5%, I believe, on the app. I can't pull the app up while I'm on the computer. It's only mobile. But you earn a little bit of interest on it. And then on top of that, I do believe that they are going to come out with new functions for that, whether it is purchasing crypto and paying less in fees with it, or if it is exchanging it for some other additional add-on that they have coming out in the future. I think it's a good time to get in. And I also think that they're going to perform well over the course of this bull run. I'm excited for them long term, especially the next bull run. But in this one, as Coinbase IPOs and exchange tokens get their day in the sun with BNB's smart chain, I think that the value is going to be there for this as well to possibly make part of your portfolio. And of course, like I mentioned, there are a couple others on the Voyager app I really like. I'm not going to say, oh, and also on the Voyager app, they have Bitcoin and Ethereum and things like that. We've already covered those. So I'm not going to go back into them. I did mention VeChain, Engine, Elrond. They're available on it. And one of the big ones that is not available on either Coinbase or Binance US, only Kraken outside of Voyager for the ones that most people use, is Polkadot. So Polkadot's also available on the Voyager app. So if you do use my referral code, not only will we both get $25 worth of free Bitcoin, but you can start exploring these different cryptocurrencies and setting up whatever altcoin portfolio you decide is best, because you'll do your own research and you won't listen to me as if I were a financial advisor. But aside from that, I appreciate you for joining me on this video. Please subscribe if you're not. 100 subscribers before I repeat a Hawaiian. I'm really pushing for it. I appreciate all the support from everyone who already has. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Viva La Coin, and I will catch you guys next time.